Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be working on this Ford Taurus right here, and we're going to be putting in a blend door actuator or temperature actuator, and this fits a whole lot of more vehicles than just this specific model. As you can see here, 2011 through 2017 Ford Explorer, 13 to 16 Ford Police Interceptor, sedan and utility, 2011 to 15 Lincon MKS MKT, 2008 to 16 Ford Taurus, and also 2008 and 2009 Ford Taurus X, also 2011 to 2016 Ford Flex. So I already got the factory part. I would recommend getting the factory Motorcraft parts. Here's the part number right here, YH1779, and it's got a longer part number right there. But I would advise you to look up your exact blend door, because this particular model has dual temperature control. So it has the passenger and the driver's side temperature controls. And what's going on in this thing, and this applies to not just Ford vehicles, but wide a range of vehicles that your heat gets stuck on, or sometimes the AC. In this particular case, on this vehicle, the AC is stuck on the passenger side only. So what's happening is it's blowing pure AC through this vent, and through the dash. And also you can see it's fogged up from there to there, and the driver's side is clear. So the driver's side's working perfectly. As you can see, it's got dual climate control. And this particular case may not be your case. It could be stuck in any position, as this is an electronic motor. And I'm going to show you how to fix this, and I'm going to show you how to fix this really quickly. And make sure you get the right actuator, because this particular, you're going to have like a recirculation outside inside air, which is going to look really similar to this. Then you're also going to have a driver's side, which is generally on that side of the box up underneath where the gas pedal is. All right, now that I got some light in here, you're going to need some pretty basic tools. So as you can see, I got the actuator laid out here, and this was only about 25 bucks, and I got it off of Amazon. And I got some wobbles, some miscellaneous. I don't know if I'm going to need these particularly, but you're going to need an 8mm socket, and I would say a ratchet and some extensions to do this job. So the first step is, so as soon as you lower the glove box, you're going to see a little right there. It's just like a little nub sticking out. And what you're going to need to do is pull that back. All right, so with the glove box down, so you're going to want to reach in behind here, and you're going to feel a little plastic piece, and you're just going to want to pull that up, push it out like that, and that's going to let that release. And what that is, that's just the thing that keeps the glove box from dropping down really fast. And the second step is, so you're going to want to push in right here, and you can see that little release. So you're going to want to do that on both sides simultaneously. And as you can see, what I just did, I'm doing this one-handed. It's really easy if you do that with both hands at the same time. And then once it's down like that, it lifts straight out. So you can see right here, you got 4 hinges, and it's kind of like a half moon style right here. Fits kind of like a tailgate. So it clips in and then it swivels up. And then what you got here is, and it's got a little clip right here on the top. It clips in right here. So you're going to want to pull this straight up. And you see it's got like a little half moon clip too. And you want to get this out of the way. And that operates off of suction. So if you have a glove box that's not coming down smoothly, you may have to replace this, because it's got like a little plunger in there, and it works off of suction. All right, so as soon as we get the glove box out of the way, you just set it on the center console. So we have a whole lot of room to work, and you're gonna see basically you have a really easy actuator right there, and you could probably replace this in, I'm gonna say, about 2 minutes. It's that bolt, and that plug. This is not the actuator that controls the temperature. This is your outside, inside air. This is also a good time to check your cabin air filter. If your vehicle's equipped, which generally it would be right there, and you can replace that really easily. But the actuator that we're gonna be replacing today to fix this passenger side issue where it's stuck on AC is this actuator right here. And it's probably the most difficult to get to on this vehicle, but I'm pretty confident that I can get this done in about 10 minutes. So as you can see, you got a bolt which is really visible right here. That's gonna be the easiest bolt. The connector is right above here, and I can already feel the little tab to get that unplugged. And then the second bolt right here is just out of the line of sight. I'm not sure if I can show that on the camera. Just so what you have here, this is a wiring harness right here, and this is just a little plastic connector. So I'm going to pull that back just enough where maybe I can see in there. All right, so the bolt right at the tip of my finger is right there, and you really can't see it on the camera, but I'm gonna try to use the wobble on this thing. All right, so I found the perfect combination to get back there to get to that hidden bolt. So a short 8mm with a wobble and a 6-inch extension. So what I'm about to show you is you have to slide the extension with the wobble past where you need to go. And I'm on the bolt right there. And then I'm going to use an electric impact right here. And as you can see, that bolt back there came right out. And the end of this is a magnet. So as you can see, there's the bolt. That's the hidden bolt. I generally try to always start with the hardest bolt first, and it makes the job a whole lot smoother. And the second bolt right here is the clearly visible one. So now I've got both bolts out here. So the only thing left is to get it unplugged. But since I can't really get or see the plug, what I'm gonna do is take this thing out and usually you can wiggle it down and unplug it as you come out with it. But I got the old actuator out. It's always a good idea as soon as you take your new actuator out of the bag, I like to compare them. Make sure that the holes are in the same locations. If there's a part number on the old one, which generally it's usually stamped in the same spot, doubt it's going to show up on camera, but it's right in this area right here. I always like to make sure that it's the same number. It has plenty of grease up in that little area right there. So the only thing that I see differently is the splines on this is moved a little bit at an angle, and the splines on this is straight. So what I'm gonna have to do is turn that blend door a little bit or wiggle it to be able to get this actuator to seat in there. All right, so as you can see on the old blend door, there's an arrow where this gear right here should be, it has a flat spot, and the flat spot should be lined up with that arrow. So on the new one, the flat spot is lined up perfectly with the arrow. You do not ever want to move the new gear right here, which you really can't move it unless you took like pliers or something, and you don't want to do that because it'll the calibration in this, it'll mess it up and it won't ever be right again. So the thing that you do want to move is, and you can use a flathead screwdriver. This is a punch. Basically you want to put it in, and you can spin the blend door exactly where you want it. So I want that flat spot to be right at the top, and it's not really wanting to stay. There we go. It's turning just real slow. But you want that flat spot to stay right there at the top, so then the gear will set in there. There we go. So when it clicks in, you'll see it just fits in there perfect. That was a little bit difficult because that gear on the spot where the blend door is, it was spinning real slow because the weight of the door was bringing it down to its resting spot. So basically I had to turn it past where it needed to be and fit that in there. And then it also adds a little bit, you would have a whole lot easier time. I got the camera right here in front of me, so I'm working around the camera as well. So that adds a level of difficulty within itself. So if you guys don't mind, click that thumbs up button. Give me a big like, because that helps the YouTube algorithm. Alright, so I got that one bolt right there. There's that one bolt in the back, and I'm gonna go ahead and plug this thing up. Alright, so when you're plugging this thing up, you want to listen to a click. So right there, you just heard that click, and I usually yank up on the connector and make sure that it's secure. And I can't really show you guys because, let's see if I can get the light, but the connector's right there. So that's what I'm working with. I'm basically doing that out of sight. So I'm just doing that by feel. So if showing you guys on camera, that may help you out. What I'm doing is pushing that connector and then just lifting up. I've done this enough that I can just do it by feel, and I don't have to necessarily see the connector. But the connector looks just like this. So I'm just pushing in that little tab right there. And this one right here has a little red connector. So this is basically what I'm doing. I'm pushing in this tab and pulling out. So if that shows you or helps you guys, this is basically the same actuator right here. These two bolts, and there's a little flat tab right there. And the only thing different on this one is this one up here does not have that little red safety tab that you got to pull up. The same way I came out with it, I like to go back in. I just use my magnet right there, put it on the tip. And to get this bolt back here in the back, I just do it by feel. Get my light in the right place. And as soon as you put it back there, so I've got it in the hole right there, and you just give it a firm push. So then I put my socket on just in the reverse order, and I get my impact is ready as well. So, and I like to always angle, and I wrap electrical tape right here just so it holds its form. This is a wobble, and as soon as I get my wobble on there, give it a couple turns by hand just so the impact doesn't throw the bolt off. Quick tips on this replacing the actuator in any vehicle. Some common signs that you have an actuator problem. As soon as you turn your key on, you start the vehicle, if you hear some clicking noises, that's a good indicator that you got a bad actuator, because that actuator is an electric motor and it's got gears in there, and generally what happens is they just bind up and they have issues. So other than that, right here, this is the problem. This fixed it, less than $25 and not very much time at all. So the installation of the glove box is extremely simple. So the first step, you don't want to forget this because your glove box will slam down without it. It's like a suction plunger, as you can see right here. The first step is to clip this back on where it came from, which is extremely hard to clip that on. And the plunger right there, you want to make sure it's working. Second step is all these 4 clips, you want to clip in these 4 half moons right here. But in order to do that, it has to be all the way in the downward position. So right there, I felt it clip in. The third step is these two little buttons right here. You got to push in simultaneously and get past this little lip. So right there. And then you have to reach in here. What you're going to see is there's a little hole right here. And I just pop that in the little hole, and then you have to slide it down and lock it in place right there. And there we go. And the glove box should open slow just like that if that is installed correctly. And make sure your glove box is secured. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like button because it helps my channel out tremendously. And also hit the subscribe button. And there's going to be a whole lot more future content coming to this channel. Hope this video helps you out tremendously, saves you some money, some time, some effort, and some frustration. Thanks for watching.